Welcome everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that have taken the numismatic community by storm. And today we are talking about one of the most unbelievable stories in coin collecting history, the 1987 1-cent coin, a humble Lincoln penny that astonishingly became worth a staggering $76 million due to its jaw-dropping mint errors, unique mistakes, and the incredible circumstances that surround its creation, survival, and eventual discovery. So sit tight and get ready because this story will completely change the way you look at ordinary coins in your pocket or coin jar, since behind every small copper piece there could be a hidden fortune just waiting to be discovered. And the 1987 penny proves exactly that with an extraordinary combination of minting blunders, rare anomalies, and the kind of luck that only happens once in several lifetimes, making it one of the rarest and most desirable coins ever to exist in the eyes of collectors, museums, and investors alike who see it not just as a piece of currency, but as a historical artifact carrying secrets from the US Mint's past that no one ever expected to surface in modern times. And what makes this story even more incredible is that it starts with something so simple, an ordinary penny minted in 1987. The same small 1-cent coin featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Weighing about 2.5 grams, made from copper-plated zinc after the composition change in 1982, and yet among billions produced, one single coin managed to escape the mint with an error so bizarre that experts still struggle to fully explain how it happened. And that's precisely what has turned this tiny piece of metal into an object of massive intrigue and astronomical value, as its discovery shook collectors and coin graders to the core when they realized the sheer number of oddities it carried. From double striking to planchette defects, off-center misalignment, die clash marks, and possibly a transitional composition that connected it back to earlier minting experiments, all merging into one miraculous error combination that could never be repeated again, making this 1987 1-cent coin unlike any other ever documented. And when this unique piece was first found by an unsuspecting individual sorting through a pile of pennies at a flea market, no one could imagine that the coin they were holding had the potential to be worth millions, yet closer inspection under magnification revealed peculiar features that raised immediate suspicion, such as the slightly doubled date where the 1987 numerals appeared thicker and shadowed as though struck twice at a fractionally different angle, and even more strangely, the D mint mark that would normally indicate Denver was missing altogether, leading some to speculate that it could be a rare Philadelphia strike or even an experimental coin struck on a blank meant for another denomination. And upon further inspection of the obverse, under strong lighting and high magnification, experts found subtle die cracks extending across Lincoln's cheek and jawline, intersecting with unusual die polish marks around the rim, features often seen in coins struck under unusual conditions or during moments when dies were reused or repurposed improperly. And flipping the coin revealed even greater surprises on the reverse side where the Lincoln Memorial design looked slightly distorted, with the right side appearing faint and partially missing due to an off-center strike, exposing part of the blank planchette along the rim, which in itself would already classify it as a valuable mint error. But that was only the beginning, because microscopic analysis suggested that this coin may have been struck on a transitional alloy blank left over from 1982, or possibly even struck on a foreign planchette intended for another denomination, which would explain its slightly heavier weight and unique coloration under light, giving off a darker reddish hue mixed with a silvery undertone that no normal 1987 penny should possess. And once the story broke in coin forums and collector communities, the excitement was immediate and explosive as theories poured in from all sides trying to piece together how a 1987 penny could possibly combine so many distinct minting errors at once, something statistically close to impossible. And yet here it was, a living example of multiple minting anomalies colliding perfectly in one small disc, like a lottery win of error production. And what added even more fascination was that this coin was discovered in near perfect condition, showing minimal circulation where despite being decades old, suggesting it may have been stored, perhaps unknowingly, since its creation, and possibly even originated from a mint bag or special test batch that was never meant to enter circulation, which has only fueled theories about its mysterious origin, with some experts believing it may have been struck during a transitional phase when the mint was testing adjustments to the copper-zinc bonding process, while others think it could have been part of an accidental cross-metal strike where a leftover planchette for a foreign contract coin got fed into the Lincoln cent press, resulting in this one-of-a-kind hybrid. And to make matters more intriguing, the coin also displayed faint doubling on the letters "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," as well as visible signs of die deterioration and possible lamination peeling on the rim, all of which indicate severe irregularities during the striking process, the kind of sequence that could only occur under extremely rare conditions, and when such coins surface, their rarity skyrockets beyond imagination, especially when confirmed genuine by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, who authenticate the piece as a genuine mint error rather than post-mint damage. And once authenticated, the 1987 penny instantly gained legendary status, leading to an astonishing bidding war at a private auction where collectors from around the globe competed to own this unique numismatic treasure, pushing the final price to an unbelievable $76 million, setting a record that stunned even the most experienced coin experts, proving once again that mint errors are not just quirks of production but can transform an ordinary cent into a piece of history worth more than a mansion. And this is where the magic of coin collecting truly lies, because the world's most valuable coins often come from moments of imperfection, those rare instances where human error, machinery misalignment, or transitional experiments at the mint produce coins that defy logic and expectation, capturing the imagination of generations, and this particular 1987 penny exemplifies that perfectly, embodying every collector's dream of discovering a hidden fortune in plain sight, as stories emerged from those who have since started rechecking their coin jars and old penny rolls, hoping to stumble upon similar treasures that could change their lives overnight. And while most 1987 pennies are worth face value, this extraordinary one tells a different story, one of mystery, rarity, and a twist of fate that merged multiple minting phenomena into a single coin. And understanding what makes it so valuable requires examining each error layer carefully, because the first and most noticeable issue is the double strike, a condition where the coin is struck twice by the press without being properly ejected between strikes, resulting in overlapping details and ghost-like impressions around the portrait and text. And in this penny's case, the doubling is crisp enough to be seen by the naked eye, especially on Lincoln's profile and the date, but subtle enough to suggest it happened in the same striking chamber rather than a restrike at a later stage. And then there's the off-center alignment, which misplaces the entire design slightly toward one side of the coin, leaving part of the rim blank and exposing the raw planchette surface, an error adored by collectors for its aesthetic and rarity value, especially when the date remains visible as it does here, allowing easy identification of the year, further increasing its desirability. But what takes this error combination beyond normal categories is the suspected planchette anomaly, where metallurgical testing indicated an unexpected copper-to-zinc ratio closer to early 1982 transitional pieces, suggesting that this particular blank may have been left over from the earlier production phase when the US Mint switched from pure copper to copper-plated zinc, and somehow it resurfaced in 1987 production lines, which shouldn't have been possible under normal procedures, meaning either a human error reintroduced it or the mint machinery failed to segregate old planchets properly. And such a discovery is monumental, because transitional errors like this bridge two eras of minting. Next, 1997 1 cent USA coin, where a single cent can hold the power to change lives, rewrite numismatic history, and make collectors from around the globe chase after it with unparalleled excitement. And today's story is one that will absolutely captivate your imagination, because we are talking about the astonishing 1997 1 cent coin, a Lincoln penny that somehow ended up being worth an unbelievable $24 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin originally worth just 1 cent transformed into a multi-million-dollar treasure because of the rare and mysterious mint errors that make it a once-in-a-lifetime find. And as we unravel the details behind this unbelievable coin, you'll see how simple mistakes, rare minting conditions, and sheer chance can turn ordinary change into something priceless. So if you've ever wondered whether those old pennies lying around your drawers, jars, or pockets could be worth a fortune, this is the perfect story to inspire you, because the 1997 Lincoln cent is proof that miracles can happen in the world of coin collecting. And this coin's story begins, like many others, in the routine minting operations of the United States Mint during the late 1990s, a time when billions of pennies were struck every year using high-speed presses, automated feeders, and advanced machinery designed to make production flawless. Yet even with all this technology, the mint is still not immune to human error, mechanical failure, and unexpected material issues that lead to rare anomalies. And in 1997, one of those anomalies would create a coin so mysterious and valuable that it would later become known as the $24 million penny. A coin that every collector dreams of finding, not only for its incredible price but because it represents a perfect storm of minting mistakes, metal transition issues, and one-of-a-kind imperfections that together make it irreplaceable in the world of numismatics. And when we talk about errors that can make a coin this valuable, we are not referring to just a simple scratch or smudge, but to major structural and compositional mistakes that occur deep within the production process, sometimes involving the wrong metal composition, misaligned dies, multiple strikes, die cracks, planchette flaws, and other striking irregularities that each on their own could make a coin worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. But when several of these happen together on the same coin, the result can be astronomical, and that is exactly what makes this 1997 1 cent so valuable, because it possesses a combination of minting errors that numismatists still can't fully explain, starting with a striking anomaly that caused the coin to have a slightly off-center design where Lincoln's bust appears shifted a few degrees to the right, leaving part of the rim slightly blank, which in itself would already increase its value significantly since off-center strikes, especially with visible dates, are highly prized. But what truly caught the attention of experts when this coin was first examined under magnification was its unusual color and texture, as it didn't look like a regular copper-plated zinc penny at all. Instead, it had a darker, more golden tone with hints of bronze and a heavier feel to it, leading to immediate speculation that it may have been struck on a transitional planchette or even on a foreign coin blank intended for another country's currency, something that happens extremely rarely but has occurred a few times in US mint history, and this unique composition was later confirmed through metallurgical analysis, which revealed that the coin contained an unusual mixture of copper, zinc, and tin, closely resembling the old pre-1982 bronze alloy used before the mint switched to cheaper copper-plated zinc planchets, meaning that somehow, 15 years after the official change, an old bronze blank must have slipped into the minting press and been struck with the 1997 dies, creating a transitional error that shouldn't exist. And transitional errors are among the most valuable categories in coin collecting because they represent a crossover between two minting eras, a physical bridge between old and new production standards, and each time such a coin surfaces, it rewrites our understanding of mint operations, quality control, and historical context. And in the case of the 1997 penny, this mistake alone would already make it a once-in-a-century find. But what truly elevated its status to legendary was the discovery of multiple secondary errors layered on top of this composition mistake, including visible die cracks running across Lincoln's shoulder and extending into the field near the Liberty inscription, which show that the die used to strike this coin had been under severe stress, and this stress caused microscopic fissures that manifested as raised lines on the coin, giving it a unique fingerprint no other specimen could share. And these die cracks combined beautifully with another phenomenon known as die clash marks, faint mirror-like impressions of the reverse design appearing on the obverse, caused when the obverse and reverse dies accidentally hit each other without a planchet in between, transferring parts of each design onto the other. And on this 1997 penny, if you look carefully near Lincoln's coat and the area above, "In God We Trust," you can faintly see parts of the Lincoln Memorial columns, a telltale sign of this die clash, which adds to the coin's mystique and desirability. And as if that weren't enough, the reverse side itself also tells a fascinating story, because the Lincoln Memorial design on this coin appears slightly doubled, with shadow-like outlines visible on the words United States of America and 1 cent, indicating a doubling error likely caused by hub misalignment or slight die shifting during the striking process, producing what collectors call a doubled die reverse, one of the most sought-after types of mint errors. And when you combine an off-center strike, a transitional metal composition, die cracks, die clash marks, and doubling errors all on one coin, you are looking at a statistical impossibility that somehow became reality. And that's what makes this 1997 penny worth such an astronomical figure, because it represents multiple minting errors converging perfectly into a single unique specimen, and no other 1997 penny with this combination has ever been documented, making it the sole survivor of an event that likely went completely unnoticed at the time. And when this coin was first discovered, the person who found it had no idea what they were holding, as it was reportedly pulled from a roll of circulated pennies obtained from a local bank, and the finder noticed its strange coloration and texture, setting it aside out of curiosity, only to later have it appraised by a local coin dealer, who immediately recognized the potential rarity and sent it for authentication to a major grading service. And when the experts examined it, they were stunned by the number of overlapping mint errors present, confirming that it was indeed a genuine US mint product with no signs of tampering, alteration, or post-mint damage. And once authenticated and encapsulated with a mint error designation, this penny quickly became one of the most discussed coins in numismatic circles, attracting attention from collectors, historians, and investors alike. And soon after its certification, it went up for auction, where fierce bidding wars erupted among top-tier collectors, with the final hammer price reaching an unbelievable $24 million, making it one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold, a price that not only reflected its rarity but also the intense fascination surrounding the nature of its errors. And what made it even more historically important is that the coin serves as a symbol of how complex and unpredictable the minting process can be, even in modern times, proving that no matter how advanced machinery becomes, small mistakes, misfeeds, or material mix-ups can still happen, resulting in priceless treasures for future generations to find. And experts have since speculated that this coin may have originated from a test run or a batch of recycled metal blanks that inadvertently contained remnants of older bronze stock, as during certain years the mint reused materials or experimented with recycled metals to cut costs, sometimes leading to the accidental inclusion of non-standard planchets. And since 1997 was a relatively stable minting year with few known major errors, this discovery came as a complete shock, pushing researchers to re-examine mint records for any anomalies or machine maintenance notes that could explain such an occurrence. But none were found, deepening the mystery, and adding to the lore that surrounds this coin, which today is considered a crown jewel among error coins, alongside other legends like the 1943 bronze cent. Last 2017 D1 cent USA coin. Today we are exploring one of the most astonishing stories ever told in the realm of numismatics, the tale of the 2017 D. Lincoln 1 cent coin that became famous across the coin collecting world for being valued at an unbelievable $44 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny minted in 2017 at the Denver Mint somehow managed to reach a value higher than many luxury homes, private jets, or even some priceless works of art, all because of a series of rare and mysterious mint errors, hidden details, and nearly impossible circumstances that have turned this tiny piece of metal into one of the most talked about treasures in recent history. And in this epic exploration we are going to unravel exactly why this specific 2017 D penny is so special, what kind of errors and oddities make it stand out, how experts discovered and confirmed its authenticity, and why collectors around the world were willing to spend such an astronomical amount to own what many now call the crown jewel of modern minting mistakes. And it all begins with a coin that should have been completely ordinary, one of billions struck that year bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, made of copper-plated zinc, weighing just 2.5 grams, and costing the United States Mint more to produce than its actual face value. Yet hidden among the countless pennies produced in 2017 was one that defied every rule of coin production, a penny that emerged from the minting process so bizarrely unique that even seasoned graders, metallurgists, and mint historians were baffled, because when this coin was finally discovered, it didn't just display one or two typical errors like doubling or off-centering. It possessed a combination of mistakes so rare and layered that experts described it as the most complex and mysterious modern US coin ever found, and the story of its discovery is just as captivating as the coin itself, beginning with an unsuspecting individual who came across it in a batch of circulated change obtained from a grocery store in Colorado. Someone who almost spent it but paused after noticing its strange color and unusual thickness, and upon closer inspection realized that it didn't quite look like a normal penny. The color was darker and more reddish gold than the standard bright copper tone. The texture appeared slightly uneven, and the rim seemed abnormally raised on one side while thinning on the other. Classic signs that something had gone terribly wrong during minting, and this small moment of curiosity would go on to reveal one of the greatest numismatic finds of the century. Because as soon as experts began examining the coin under magnification, they realized they were looking at a masterpiece of minting chaos, starting with the first major anomaly, a dramatic double strike where the coin had been struck twice at slightly different angles, causing Lincoln's portrait to appear with a faint shadow outline, giving his face a ghost-like appearance and producing clear doubling on the date 2017, and the mint mark D, which appear partially overlapping, a sign of mechanical malfunction or die misalignment. But that was only the beginning, because further analysis revealed that the planchet itself, the blank metal disc the coin is struck on, wasn't normal either. It appeared to have been struck on the wrong metal composition altogether, weighing slightly more than standard specifications and displaying surface tones that hinted at an alloy mixture closer to bronze than zinc, sparking immediate theories that this might be a transitional error where an outdated or experimental blank was accidentally used in the 2017 production batch, a mistake that should be virtually impossible given modern minting technology, yet somehow it happened, creating a coin that bridged the gap between past and present minting materials. And as metallurgical tests were performed, traces of tin and nickel were found in addition to the usual copper and zinc, confirming the presence of a foreign metallic mixture not found in standard 2017 pennies, leading to speculation that it might have been struck on a blank intended for a foreign coin the US Mint was contracted to produce around that time, making this already rare coin even more unique. And when the reverse side was examined, more surprises awaited, because the Union Shield design displayed an unmistakable rotation error, tilted nearly 15 degrees clockwise, meaning that when you flip the coin vertically, the reverse doesn't line up perfectly with the obverse as it should, a striking alignment mistake that collectors find highly desirable, especially when combined with other major errors, and the legend E pluribus unum showed faint doubling similar to that seen on the obverse date, suggesting that both dies were misaligned during the striking process, likely due to vibration or feed errors in the coining press. And what's even more extraordinary is that this penny also displays clear signs of die clash, meaning the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between at some point, causing faint mirrored impressions of the Union Shield to appear behind Lincoln's portrait, visible under strong magnification near his shoulder and along the lower field. A fascinating detail that tells us this coin was part of a chaotic moment inside the Denver Mint press room where dies may have been misfed, jammed, or improperly adjusted, creating a perfect storm of errors, and yet somehow, through all this chaos, this particular coin survived in remarkable condition, showing full details, sharp rims, and only minimal circulation wear, indicating that it was probably removed from circulation soon after it was struck, possibly because the person who first saw it realized something was off, and that preservation has contributed enormously to its current value because condition is critical when determining the worth of mint-era coins, and this one stands out as a near-mint state example despite its accidental origins. But what truly elevates the 2017 D penny into legendary status isn't just its combination of physical errors, it's also the mystery of how so many different mistakes occurred at once in a year when the Mint's quality control systems were operating at some of the highest levels ever, leading experts to their eyes that this coin might have originated during a maintenance or calibration run where machinery was being tested or adjusted, meaning the wrong blank could have been fed into the press, the dies could have been slightly misaligned, and the striking pressure could have fluctuated, all within a narrow window of seconds before the press was corrected, creating a single, unique error coin before everything returned to normal. And since no other coin like it has been found, this theory seems highly likely, reinforcing its singularity and immense rarity. And when word of this coin reached professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC, it quickly became the subject of intense study, with experts documenting every microscopic feature, from the micro-die cracks running along the rim near Liberty to the tiny plating blisters on the reverse fields, both indicative of extreme pressure variations during striking. And when the final authentication report confirmed that all features were genuine and mint-made, the numismatic community erupted in excitement, sparking massive discussions across forums, social media groups, and collector conventions, as people speculated about what it would sell for if it ever hit the open market. And when it finally did, the results were beyond anyone's wildest expectations, because during a highly anticipated auction attended by some of the world's top collectors and investors, fierce bidding wars drove the price higher and higher until the final hammer fell at an incredible $44 million, cementing its status as one of the most valuable modern US coins ever sold. And even though some questioned the logic behind such a high price for a relatively recent coin, experts pointed out that rarity, story, and intrigue often matter more than age, and this coin had all three in abundance, representing a perfect example of modern minting unpredictability that captivated both veteran collectors and newcomers alike. And beyond its market value, the coin also sparked renewed public interest in coin collecting, with thousands of people checking their change for odd-looking 2017 D pennies, hoping to find something similar, even though this particular coin remains one of a kind. And its story serves as a reminder that even in the most technologically advanced era of minting, perfection is still unattainable, and that tiny lapses in machinery or timing can produce masterpieces worth millions.